Dan Moskal here, and in this video we're going to be looking at some SEO content. We're adding some content to our website to build it out and target some more search terms so we can get some more traffic and more money and more income. And we're actually we're looking at, we took on a new partner here recently. And to get the full story, we've got a book we just wrote here, SEO Training Guide, The 10 Golden Steps to Shower in Search Engine Traffic. This is a must read, and we clearly need to do something else, something along with it, in the sense we're going to create a checklist here because we've taken on a new business partner, Maria Masterson. She read that, at least allegedly, just this article is not it's a great article. It's really well written, but there's some huge problems with it. I mean, huge problems. And I'm sorry for calling you out here, Maria. I don't know what else to do. I know you're an intelligent individual. Let's go ahead and start looking at the problems first. So the very first place is this article is 315 words. We don't ever want to publish anything that's that short on our website. At a minimum, and I mean a minimum, you want it to be at least 500 words. At least 500 words. You don't want to go like crazy. I wouldn't recommend a 2,000 word article, but make it at a minimum 500. And I've even seen up to 750 words as like a good length. I've written articles that were 1,400 words, but 300 words, when the search engines come, they're going to see this as very shallow content. They're going to say, wow, that's all he's got to say about secured and prepaid credit cards with this example. Like all he has is 300 words. I mean, how about tell me about, how secured credit cards, how you can get approved for it. Is there a credit check? Do you have to have a minimum income? Does it report to the credit bureaus or the prepaid credit cards? I mean, there's a million different things to talk about. You got to make it at least 500 words, though. So that's the first big problem, because 300 words, we never want to publish that on our website, especially with topics like this, secured prepaid credit cards, secured and prepaid credit cards. Like, we could write probably a whole book, if not 6, about secured and prepaid credit cards. We gotta write more than 300 words. So at a minimum 500 words. The next here is this title, and the title with our WordPress site, this is what's going to show up in here. This is what shows up at the top here, right there, secured and prepaid credit cards. But we have the Genesis frameworks, and this is where we're actually going to make the title. This is what actually shows up in the search engines in blue. The stuff in blue is this down here, custom document title. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and paste that in. And let's go ahead and just finish this right here. So this is our snippet, this stuff in blue. That's our URL. We'll talk about that here in a minute. That's not quite as important, but this is our meta description. This is where we get a chance to describe what we're writing about, like secured and prepaid credit cards. And then we also convince people to click on our website. Like, we want it to be compelling. So for this one, we could say, find out the difference between secured prepaid credit cards, which one's right for you, which one's the best for you. You want to use some direct marketing, and you want people to click on your website, because Google and the other search engines do factor in how often the number 1 website gets clicked on versus the number 2. If the number 2 website's getting clicked on more, they also call it your CTR, or click-through rate, then the number 2 website, generally speaking, is probably going to get moved up to number 1, because it sure seems like it's more important. More people are clicking on it, more people want that information, and there's some other factors, but generally speaking, your click-through is very important. So here's the next big problem. And Maria, I'm sorry, but you got to read some of this stuff. I know you're smart. Like, I don't know what this is. So listen, this is the other problem. The title. And the title is what we're really targeting. The title is like our laser target. If you don't spend a minute, in a few minutes, to do some keyword research, it is on par with being placed in a foreign country and me saying, get in the car, go find 7-Eleven, rather than taking a moment and getting directions to the closest 7-Eleven. And we're going to look at this. Google AdWords has a free keyword planner. This is the one I use. There's other ones you can use, but this one's totally free. I think to get an AdWords account, you might have to pay $5. Not pay, but just like authorize a credit card, if I remember right. Either way, Google AdWords is a great way to advertise, but it's not a big investment, and this is so worth it, because otherwise you're driving around without directions. Like, it's foolish, totally foolish. It's one of the most foolish things to go and just write content and hope that traffic comes. Like, spend just a few moments and do some research so you can really target the traffic and get that traffic. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at the keyword ideas. Ad group ideas is good too. I'll sometimes mess around with it. So this is what we're targeting: secured and prepaid credit cards. That gets searched for 0 times. Nobody searches that exactly. Just period, bottom line, point blank. It doesn't get searched for. Secured and prepaid credit cards. Prepaid credit card does. And you can see down here, secure credit cards, that gets searched for 1,300 times. So one of the things, we're going to go ahead and just try this. We're going to say secured credit card, and we're going to say versus prepaid, we'll say debit cards. Just because it's the same idea, we just want to find a good search term so we have some good directions. So even this doesn't get searched for. I'm going to look at the ad group ideas. So here we go. Here's a versus, and this actually is not a good title either. So prepaid card versus debit card gets searched for monthly 20 times. That's just not enough. Here we go. Secured credit card versus prepaid credit card. That gets searched for 10 times a month. That's just not enough, in my opinion. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make another video here. We're going to look at this article. We're going to write some more, and we're going to make another video. Again, we have a book here. It's the 10 Golden Steps to Shower and Search Engine Traffic. Please go and pick this up. We've got it at the Kindle. It's also on Barnes & Noble at the Nook. We have the audio version, which should be in iTunes. It might be already there, but please go through this and check out some more videos here. You gotta have some direction, and you gotta be like, work smart, don't work foolishly. And especially when you're talking about money, like, the smarter you can work to get money into target, because even just titling this article an appropriate thing that gets searched for even 1,000 times on a monthly basis, just looking at Google, you're so much more likely to get some income, some revenue, and make some money out of that and get traffic than you are to title and target something that never gets searched for. Like with this example, like secured and prepaid credit cards, that term never gets searched for. Never. I'm sure it has, and I'm sure it will be, but it's one of the like, we're not targeting anything. It's almost like getting in the car and looking for 7-Eleven, just hoping we're going to run into it. Like, you got to work smart. Like, spend some time to do it. It's worth it. I promise. I guarantee it. And the last thing we're going to say is, in the next video, we'll look at some internal linking, because internal linking is incredibly important. We talk about it in the book. We talk about it. We've got a free report. We're doing an email marketing free report right now at Dan Moskowitz University. And Maria, come over here and sign up for it, please, Maria. Please, Maria, because you really need to get this stuff and learn it. And it took me, just under a decade to learn what I know, and I'm still learning things every single day. Like, never stop learning. And especially when you're learning, the more you learn, the more money you'll make. The amount of reading you do, it directly correlates with how much money and income you have. The amount of good reading on good subjects, good books, by good people and good authors that know what they're talking about and haven't just, sat in a classroom. No offense to professors, but some professors, sitting in a classroom teaching about something and they haven't been in business, like they've never, like business professors, and not all of business professors are like that by any means, but the point is you got to work smart, you got to be intelligent, otherwise you're just kind of driving around aimlessly hoping to run into some traffic. Like, yeah, you might get a little bit, but if you just spend a couple of minutes and do it the right way, you're almost guaranteed to get a lot more of it. So anyways, this is Dan Moskal. Visit danmoskaluniversity.com. Please comment below. Please check out the upcoming videos because, this stuff, none of this stuff is really that difficult, but it is a lot of little things that you have to put together and use the basics and the fundamentals of them, such as email marketing. That's something I want Maria to do as well. So please go and like this video, share it with your friends, family, leave any specific questions or concerns below. Have a great afternoon and look forward to talking to you again soon.